Leviamon X is definitely one of my top favorite decks to play in this current format, and let's show you guys how incredibly strong it is as it destroys absolutely everything in its way.
Alright, welcome back into a whole new format of BT15. In our first gameplay, we're going to be facing off against Leviamon and the Digipolice deck, which has a whole new line of support, so it's going to be pretty fresh as well. Right here with our starting hand, we did decide to mulligan and try to go for a better one and sort of see what better cards we can sort of go for. We do see a level 3 and a level 4, which is going to be really good. Unfortunately, we couldn't utilize the Garurumons when digivolving outside in the battle area. We kind of just have to pass our opponent to 2 starting off our turn. Now we're really trying to hope to see if we can find a level 5 eventually, and we need to sort of prioritize and draw cards, which is why I play the Leviamon here, so that I can trash a card from my hand, which is going to be Leviamon X Antibody. And the whole idea of the deck is to set up Levia X in your trash, so then later on you can digivolve it directly from there, and we're going to be able to draw 2 with Leviamon, which is a fantastic card for the deck as well, because it again helps you set up but also helps you draw cards as you're sort of going up and in the early stages. Now we're looking a little bit better. We have a Shakomon in our hand. We also have some level 4s that we can work with, which is why I decided to push up into the battle area with Garurumon. So then I wanted to cycle to another Digi Egg, which does end up giving the opponent quite a bit of memory here, because with Satsuki they're gaining memory too, and they have that Numemon, so they have 3 to work with. They can very easily go all the way up until level 6. As you guys can even see here, they're starting it off with Kagurumon already, playing out Ryudamon here for free, which is going to be a lot of value. And if they go into like a Brigademon or even just an Leviamon, they can pass their turn and establish quite a early board presence and go wide very quickly in this matchup. And you guys can see exactly this is what they do. They go into Brigademon, which is still a very good previous style of the deck that can play with the Digipolice with D-Brigade, is to sort of cycle through cards and play a lot of stuff here thanks to the end of turn effect and popping our Garurumon, slowing us down. And the board situation already looks like they're going to establish so much more advantage compared to us, and it looks like we're going to be playing from behind. The idea is, yes, I kind of, wish the Garurumon stayed on the board, so then I could have went into Guru X and get a lot of value this particular turn. But again, the whole reason I had to push it out is because I knew I had to cycle and start moving. In hindsight, if they weren't able to get rid of our Garurumon, if we stayed in the raising, we could have came out and we could have digivolved into the X version and whatnot. But this is totally fine. We're going to show you guys how incredibly strong this deck really is, because it can actually pop a lot of things. We decided to go for the 7th Lightning and letting us pop a level 4 and a level 6, noticing that their Brigademon doesn't have any protection whatsoever. So even passing them back to 3 memory and giving them a little bit more extra to work with once again is totally okay, because we're controlling board. Once Brigademon is out, we do want to try to, deal with it as quickly as possible. The sooner we deal with it, we don't want the opponent to start ramping up with a lot of bodies and basically we lose from there. But again, they are going to continue to do this. Now they have like 4 memory to work with. Again, very easily they can potentially go into a lot of plays. And within this new, not like new Dorumon, but like with the Dorumon addition into this line with X Antibody, you mind link something underneath, you can gain memory, and it's incredibly efficient now. Going into their second Kagurumon very quickly, they can repeat the exact same combo all over again and play out this Commandramon, which is fantastic, because the Commandramon can then help them find their other boss Digimon, which again can be Brigademon or a Leviamon, and then they can go right into it afterwards and then, continue the control of the board all over once again, and we're only going to be left like a rookie to work with. So here it looks like they're trying to go through their choices and see what they can pick up here, and I think they're just also trying to see what next play they have, potentially go into the lowest 6. They can't grab the Dorumon there because it is not a Digipolice, that particular Dorumon. They can only grab a High Commandramon here, or the Shuyulin, or the Ryudamon that they reviewed, which you guys can see. And it looks like they're going to be cycling up with the cards, whether to the top or bottom, which is going to be pretty crucial for them, because, it's going to set up like the next turn or the next couple of plays, which definitely requires a bit more careful thinking here. You know, our Raremon's not going to survive after being suspended by the Ginryumon here, and they do decide to swing with Kagujimon too, and looks like they're going to be finishing up with their new boss Digimon right here, which is Oriomon. Oriomon is a blocker, which is pretty good, and not only that, it's like it can play things, it does a lot of things when it's suspended as well. It has a lot of all turns effects that's very interactive, which can disrupt us quite a bit. Here, I decided to just play the Leviamon X. Not Leviamon X, sorry, I apologize. Just straight up play the Leviamon for a lot of memory and pop their board, their highest and their lowest, giving them a lot of memory to work with once again. But don't worry, with Leviamon, it's actually really, really strong, especially against this deck. Actually, as a matter of fact, the situation doesn't looks like we're playing from behind, but we're actually in control of the game. We're, you know, trying to control the board and stay, you know, and not let them try to chip us away, and not let them attack. That's probably one of the mistakes the opponents are trying, you know, sort of facing at the moment. They should really be chipping us away to sort of like, you know, progress to their game win condition. Because right now we're still at 5 security. Nothing has happened too much other than trying to like control each other back and forth. But the reason why we counter them is because as soon as they start playing things, we can immediately digivolve into Levia X from our trash and then pop a bunch of stuff on their board. And by doing so, it really makes it difficult for them to play. Even with the amount of memory they got right now, it's actually still really tricky for them because they have to sort of think and, you know, play in a slightly different style where they can't just traditionally build up and then be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be playing a lot of stuff, because as soon as they play something once again, we're going to pop their, you know, their stack, their board, and we can pop multiple things too. You know, we have, like, again, Levia X, which can digivolve from trash. We have 7th Lightning, which has a trash effect as well. So here they decide to, you know, switch gears a little bit, realizing that we always had answers. Every time they go into a level 6, we popped both of them. We popped the Brigadramon in the first time, we popped the Oriomon as well, and they have no protection. So they're realizing that they're gonna have to digivolve in the Raising here a little bit, sit tight, and then maybe play reactively against us and try to give us as little resources as possible here. They're gonna, you know, end off and, you know, give us a little bit as little memory as possible by playing the defense training, searching for them for either the Tamer, or they can grab the High Commandramon here, whichever they choose. And at the end of the turn, they decide to unmind link out the Shu Yulin. By doing that, that's playing a Tamer via net effect. So that allows us to actually potentially go into Levia X here and to pop their board. So going into Levia X here, we get to pop the Rudimon, but the Rudimon is actually unaffected by effects. And I do apologize, a bit of a misplay here. I completely forgot to try to attempt to pop the Shu Yulin, but don't worry guys, I'm going to show you guys, even with that extra memory with Shu Yulin and forgetting to pop it, we're going to make a huge comeback, and we're going to be like starting applying a lot of pressure. You guys can see like Leviamon X does a ton of checks. 14k DP for level 6 is just actually really strong. You know, it probably runs against like almost anything in security aside than bombs, and it is really, really, really strong. And they have to deal with this big body somehow and either swing over it or try to delete it with an effect and whatnot. But because if they don't, next turn we're gonna swing for another 3 checks, rest of their security, and then we can finish the game with Shakomon very easily there. Now here they gotta start planning and sort of think. They have a lot of resources to work with though. You know, once again, putting Shu Yulin underneath with the Dorumon gives them an extra memory for the turn to play with. Now they're starting at 4, which they can actually potentially go into another level 6 boss Digimon, and by doing so, they could like still retain their turn a little bit. But looks like, you know, even with the defense training that they have on the board, they can actually, you know, utilize and sort of like stay there a little bit. So then they can now alliance and attack into our Levia X, getting rid of it. And I'm not too worried about it because Levia X actually kind of just did its job already. And the next time around when you know they play a Digimon via an effect, we have access to Levia X once again, which is again an insane card because you can always come back again and again and again with Levia X. And here they're gonna build their whiteboard. They're gonna play like Satsuki and the Commandramon, which has like decoy to set up for better protection as well. And at the same time, they're going to unmind link out Shu Yulin once again. This time we can't go into Levia X because we don't have a Leviamon or a Digimon X Antibody on the board. And everything on their board is also a blocker here at this moment. But like I mentioned, guys, don't worry about it. We're going to absolutely wreck their board. Just by doing very simple combos here. We have 1 Wisdom Training and 1 Shakomon to work with, but we do also have 3 memory to work with in the beginning of our turn. You guys remember, we still have that Gurumon X in our hand. We have a clear line. I'm actually just thinking if I want to go up into Leviamon or do I want to go into Levi X once again. Of course, I'm going to put in the X Antibody first, so then I can go into Gurumon, use the Wisdom Training as well, Digivolving it for 1 effectively, drawing cards, and tossing away cards that I don't necessarily need in my hand. Here I should have actually tossed away the second 7th Lightning as well, so then I can actually, like, you know, set up another one. We're going to go into Dragomon here. Now, the opponent's being worried. They're not trying to play stuff via effects, but thanks to these level 5s, such as Dragomon, we've forced them to play something from their trash first anyways. And once they achieve that, you guys know what that means? We're going to be playing Levi X once again from the trash. So here they identifying, like, notice that, like, hey, potentially we can do a lot of crazy things. They're trying to see, like, you know, what's the most optimal thing they can play back so that, you know, maybe potentially their board wouldn't get as, like, destroyed as much, and trying to identify it there as well. But, you know, you guys get ready. It's coming real soon. I tell you, whatever they do there, we're gonna basically blow everything up. We are actually gonna clear 5 bodies and tamers as well, and leave them with absolutely nothing because of this. So here with Dragomon, we're gonna think of what we want to play. So I'm debating, hey, you know, I guess it makes sense to play this Gilmon. It also has Rush too, and because there's over 20 cards in both players trash by now, and then we get to go into the Levi X from the trash for absolutely free once again. And that's also because our Dragomon has the X Antibody, which is why X Antibody is really important in this deck, because not only you guys can see that we can go on top of Levia, we want to make sure that we can go on top of our level 5s too. And once we do this, now I'm here just trying to calculate on what I sort of need to pop. Of course, this time making sure that we're going to pop the Tamer, so debating between Shu Yulin or Satsuki here. Ideally, it's going to be Shu Yulin, just because it's more of the important Tamer for the Oriomon side of the deck here. Then we popped a level 3, 5, and 7, which would be the Decoy Commandmon, and we're going to do double 7th Lightning from the trash, putting it back to the bottom of the deck. This gives me like Beelzemon vibes all over again, because like with Beelze X, you have 7 full cluster before, right? So we're going to pop their Unsuspended Numemon, and we're going to attempt to pop their Brigademon that they have on the board, which they do have a protection because of High Commandmon. But then since we do a second one, we pop it anyways. And here we still retain our turn. We still have memory to work with. We just swing for the rest of checks and Gilmon rush for game. So for the second game, we're going to be playing against Rosemon X. And yeah, Rosemon and the whole Palmon evolution line got an entire X Antibody support throughout the BT15 set. So it's definitely got a lot of power-ups for sure. Looking at our hand, it's okay. You know, we have like quite a lot of rookies. But I really felt like we could try to mulligan for a little bit better. You know, what we really do want to see is like, yeah, of course, a rookie and potentially level 4, you know, level 5, you know, so we can Digivolve upper line and we can be able to sort of draw and trash cards all at the same time. Otherwise, you know, we want to see at least some purple memory boost or some wisdom trainings to help us search for other pieces we want to. The last thing I want to do is really end up just like Digivolving to a rookie back to back and have really slow down my momentum in order to keep up against the opponent. So we're going to try to go for a better one. Funny enough, the hand looks somewhat similar, but at least this time we have a level 5. So our priority is to just try to find a level 4 and then so then we can Digivolve into it potentially, so we can start, you know, cycling and drawing more cards and going for a big combo plays to go for line plays essentially. We are going second anyways, so we have a bit of an advantage in terms of trying to find our pieces, but here we're a little bit stuck. Here we're gonna have to end up like hard playing this Shakomon. I was wanting to save the 7th Lightning in my hand to try to use it when they do go up into their stack with Rosemon, so we can actually like potentially delete it. But otherwise, the ideal goal is to set it up in trash so that we can utilize it later when we do get into Levi X. Which is going to be more beneficial there too, but we don't really have a choice because there's no other card in my hand at the moment that I'm able to toss away. So that's a little bit of a downside when it comes to like, you know, purple decks or even just like Leviamon here in general, because like in the early stages, if you have the trash cards from your hand without drawing yet, it gets a little bit tricky too, right? You know, I'm saving the Myotismon in my hand just in case if I want to hard play it back as well, and then potentially, you know, utilize its effect to play something stuff. But we got pretty lucky here, you know, passing us back to our turn after going into the Leviamon. We did find ourselves the Garurumon, so which is our level 4. I was debating if I want to sort of push out and then, you know, start drawing and cycling cards. But I felt like if I did, they can easily answer our board and get rid of our stack if we, you know, disrespected it and went into the battle area. Because if we do that again and they get rid of it, we're going to have to start all the way from scratch with only one rookie, which is not in another position that we really want to be in. So we're going to go for that traditional build and raising into Walrus Digimon, which is actually the perfect showcase of the other level 5 other than Dragomon, which you guys saw earlier from the other game. Walrus Digimon is pretty good because it's not when digivolving. It has a when attacking effect that does something similar to Dragomon as well, and forcing your opponents to play something back from their trash. So we're sitting pretty good here, and then potentially we can go into our Leviamon as a follow-up to Digivolve our next turn. That's what we were planning for initially anyways. But they did swing with this Leviamon X Antibody here, and they did run into Biting Crush. Now, Biting Crush is going to give us a great comeback, you know, from security. That's the one of the best parts about playing this Leviamon deck as well, is because you actually have quite a significant amount of security bombs. So with Biting Crush, we toss away the Levia, and then we get to pop their stack, and then now we get to set our Biting Crush here, and then we're going to go for all that combo play with Walrus Digimon, forcing them to play something back. And then by tossing away the Levia, which we intendedly to Digivolve this turn instead, now we get to hard play instead because of Biting Crush. Walrus Digimon forces them to play something because they played something. Biting Crush can use its delay, bring out Levia. Levia will pop it. Walrus Digimon gives all their Digimon on deletion lose 1 memory for the turn as well. So we're gaining 2 memory as we go. And now finally, you know, because of Digivolving and playing all these cards and cycling, we can actually then like, you know, find other cards we can sort of utilize, which are going to be helpful. So we can play Wisdom Training, we play a Purple Memory Boost, and we want to find our Levia X here and grab it to our hand. So then we can go for more follow-up plays afterwards too. And with Leviamon sitting on the board, when we pop their Digimon, or whenever their Digimons pop, we're going to be gaining memory all turns. Walrus Digimon, they're going to have to try to deal with this. They're going to probably want to have to push up, go into level 4, and then maybe a level 5 to try and answer our board somehow. But even with 3 memory with Yoshino and just a Palmon next at the back, you guys can see like there's probably not too much they can do. So they're gonna have to, you know, build in the raising instead and try to set up for their pieces, you know, after losing their main stack. It's kind of surprising because I think they kind of, you know, are trying to find their level 6, which they're not really be able to dig through it just yet. And they kind of cycle through quite a bit of cards by digivolving and whatnot. But now the position looks so much better for us now. We can repeat all of that same combo. We're going to go with Walrus Digimon to try and attack before that, but we're going to put X Antibody underneath because our intention is then to make them play something, draw in trash cards, trashing Levia X, forcing them to play a Digimon back from their trash here once again, and then going into this Levia X here from trash. And in the total board, they still have more Digimon and Tamers than we do. So we can actually pop their Tamer, which is their Yoshino here, and then popping that Toge X as well. No, we can't pop the Toge X because Levia X only deletes level 3, 5s, and 7s, but Walrus Digimon's other effect is also letting us redirect the attack into the Digimon that's played. So by doing so, we redirect the attack, go into Levia X, and we get to pierce for 3 checks right here, and we gain a memory from Levia and Walrus Digimon lose 1 as well just by taking out that Toge. And look at all that memory we're gaining, and then we're just chunking their security, almost like OTKing them right here. And we're trying to see, hey, can we play a Gilmon? But at this moment, there's not enough cards in both players' trash to go up to the 20 because it is still fairly early in the stage of the game. So here we're just gonna find and sort of like, you know, cycle through more cards and then just somehow pass them back to 3. We're sitting in such a good position, which is why I decided to hard play this Garurumon here anyways. And because they start at 3 thanks to Yoshino here, and they're gonna again have to try to really answer our board. But you guys can see how insane Leviamon, Levia X, and how versatile it is. It's got so many different lines of plays. It's got so many tricks up its sleeves to bring Leviamon or bring Leviamon X out and pop things all at the same time. And again, it doesn't matter if the opponent's deck that is based off something that doesn't play via effects, which Rosemon is really just more about stack building, and they don't really play stuff via like Digimon effects or Tamer effects or whatnot. Thanks to, again, War Siegemon and Dragomon, the level 5s we have, we force them to play something, and then we get to still utilize all of our optimal combo line of play too. They go, you know, at this point, they just don't have enough memory. You know, they can go into Rosemon X here and then just like choke us down to 1, but it just doesn't matter. We have 2 big bodies and we can just easily swing for game.
What do you guys think about Leviamon and Leviamon X? Be sure to comment down below if you want to see more gameplay videos, and guys, be sure to watch them right here, right now. As always, you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. It is AVAULT signing out.